Welcome to episode 7. 7? I think it's episode 7 of the Web Visions podcast. My name is Shlomo. This is my co-host Vic. Say hello, Vic.
Hi, I'm Vic, CTO of Visible Magic. Hi, Shlomo.
Hi, I do strategy over at Visible Magic. Visible Magic makes blockchain products for clients as well as things we produce in-house. Be it we have AI work, we have AR work, we have blockchain work, we have various sorts of Web3 contract, wallet creation. We have basically have been around for almost 8 years, 7 years doing this stuff. So, you know, we're heading into our third bull market with Visible Magic, right? As we head into this new bull.
Yep.
And it's also December 28th, just to give you some context. We are almost done with 2023.
Exactly. And 2023 was a spectacular year in terms of flipping all kind of possible narratives, especially in crypto and Web3 stuff, which we do like and do care and build about. So that's it.
So we were just having a little discussion before we turned on the recording here, and we're going to try and jump back into this because we were having a little discussion about L2s. They're becoming trendy in various ways, and I was hoping we could just kind of delve down for a moment of, is there an actual there? Is it a meaningful situation going on, or is it just more liquidity flipping on other chains? I'm still not sure. I'm in the I'm not sure camp. Vic is closer to, he thinks it's BS camp, but he may be into he's not in the sure camp. He's a little of both. And we're going to try and talk that through right now, right? So,
Okay.
like, in the end, what is an L2 without any drama, without any, like, this is amazing, or that? What exactly does making an L2 mean?
L2 is the blockchain network which sits on top of main network, which in case is Ethereum, and it synchronizes the high-level blocks inside the Ethereum network. So this is they have ability to transact assets from the top network, wrapped assets from the Ethereum to their own. There are a lot of tools to transact wrapped assets across the networks, and there are a lot of solutions at infrastructure level too for these things to make happen. So this is essentially L2. If you need to make something, like on a faster chain or something like that, you can do this. If you need to swap money from Ethereum mainnet to these L2s and use it there, you can do this. And you can transfer money back to the mainnet, to the Ethereum.
Right. So what I'm hearing is, okay, so like Coinbase has Base and as their L2, which just finished like over the summer. They did a huge marketing push for their L2. They were calling it On-Chain Summer. They had NFTs launching on Base like on a daily basis where people were buying, selling, and trading these assets on a separate layer, but where the main layer is whatever Coinbase's Ethereum layer is, right? And now we have like Optimism and we have Zora. Zora is a very cheap one that centers around artists specifically. So there's a lot of JPEG art, a lot of Blender animation, situations like that. Not super complex developed situations happening on Zora, right? Because it's super lightweight in terms of how much the fees cost me. Like, I don't think Zora charges you anymore to mint. I think they charge me to upload. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. They just changed the rules. But in the end, people are positioning L2s as two things as a marketer. Me being the marketer head, you being the CTO head, right? As my marketing head, I still like getting my head around L2s is one, each of these L2s are acting like they are catering to a certain demographic. In other words, some of them are DeFi and some of them are NFT art collecting. You know what I mean? And they tend to separate them. In other words, if an L2 is a mall, each
Mhm.
mall only has one type of vertical for the most part that works on those. By works, I mean being used. Right? I could make something let's in let's say the artist L2 that is DeFi, it just may not make traction because there's not other vertical groups dealing with it on that. So that's one, right? These marketplaces that feel centered around a demographic, be it art, DeFi, whatever, right? That's one. And two, the economics. It's cheaper to transact on these things. And that's the other part I want to talk because you started talking about something about the liquidity and the kind of maybe not the trueness of these systems. Can you talk about that?
Um, so um, the main purpose of blockchain network is, I mean, smart contract-based blockchain network is
Mm-hmm.
to provide access to the liquidity which is locked inside this network. For example, why everyone uh, is okay to use Ethereum despite the huge transaction cost, because it's the base network for all money in crypto, almost all money in the crypto right now. Okay.
Right. We go where the audience is. That's why we have.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. However, the situation with Ethereum is so ridiculous, despite the transition from proof of work models to proof of stake models, the transaction cost is skyrocketing. So to send any token, you need to pay $20 right now, or however.
Mm-hmm.
And um,
Yeah.
the
What
same
happened?
situation, the same situation with is with Bitcoin. By the way, you have to pay like uh, enormous amount of money to transact some satoshis and so on,
Mm-hmm.
and the original value of Bitcoin is lost because of this. The original idea was to be able to transact cheaper than the credit card processor
Mm-hmm.
use. Okay.
And that never happened.
Well, it did in early times, but not right now. So
Okay.
what we're dealing with is the the mostly predominant speculative aspect of the blockchains. Like, okay, here is the solution to the I don't know, problem X. Okay, it's too slow and too expensive. Let's build another solution, and just a bunch of them. Everyone wants to buy cheaper or enter at early stage and then cash out on a hype cycle and make some money from this. So, for example, do I need any kind of L2 or anything like this? No, I definitely, absolutely not need it.
It wouldn't help.
Well, I mean, personally, I don't like any kind of L2 because the more complexity you add into all this stuff, the more fragile the system and
And then I'm with you because remember, just for those listening, understand that Vic is talking about he likes to make his smart contracts actually stable, and by making them stable, you don't have that many moving parts going all over the place, like dealing with someone else's L2 layer. When we think about decentralization, this just started. How does this help or hinder decentralization? Because to me, it sounds like it would hinder it, right? Like now that I'm
Mhm.
playing on someone's L2, can someone turn off that L2? In other words, Zora makes their own L2, and now I'm putting stuff on Zora. What happens when Zora says goodbye? What happens to my work?
Everything is vanished.
Right, because this L2 is not really decentralized, is it?
Of course, all this stuff worth only well in blockchain world only the power of the network what makes sense. The more decentralized, the more people is inside the network and participate in mining or wherever it is, the more solid network is, and the more probability that it will stay longer. For example, the situation with Ethereum Classic. And do you remember that stuff? After the famous DAO hack, Ethereum split in two chains. One is Ethereum Classic, and the second is the Ethereum. And even right now, Ethereum Classic, it's not an L2 solution, it's the L1. All good one. It's still online, still being supported by its participants. The same situation is with BCH network and so on. So there are a lot of zealots, or I would say, who wants to continue, who trust into this, and this is the value of the blockchain. Because if you have to work on any kind of rapidly created L2 solution to deploy your application, to trust your data, trust your money there, it's super high risk. Okay.
On an L2.
Yes. Any L2 is super high risk.
And it's super high risk. I'm just making sure, because I want to make sure I really understand you, Vic. It's super high risk because it's, in the end, just someone else's server.
It's not someone else's server because it's a hype. You live inside the hype bubble, and you have any guarantee. You have no any guarantee. I have to correct that it will live for a year. Okay, so and it also mattered the community. For example, if you compare the community of Arbitrum, Optimism, or whatever guys they are comparing to Ethereum, it's and the level of risk and leverage of the risk you have, trust in your data or your solution to all this L2 is also like the inversion of that amount of people.
So what does that mean? Now I'm just spitballing. I have no real thing. So now that if L2s are literally just a marketing gimmick, is what I'm hearing from it, right? It's basically saying we are going to make this feel cheap for the customer, right? So they start selling and buying products on that L2, right? And and that cheapness is really being paid back through all these multiple transactions. In other words, they're saying we'll take less per transaction to keep everyone on this network.
Yeah, the only question is who is paying the at result. Who's gonna pay for this party? Like, if there is no money, yeah.
We already know Coinbase is paying for their base. That makes sense. They're gajillionaires.
Makes sense. It.
Zora has a little money, right? But I wouldn't say they're the wealthiest company out there. In fact, I think they look like they have more money than they actually have. I don't think they're like, from a tech company, killing it economically, right? So who is, when I think about optimism, I need to look, I now need to go down the rabbit hole about who's paying for all these things, I feel. Like who's paying for optimism? Who's paying for, it's always, exactly. I feel in crypto, we always have to come down to why is this a deal? Who's paying for it? Because in Web 2, that was easy to figure out. There are two things that were paying for everything: my data and ads, right? So when we talk
Yeah.
about Web 3, right, with everything still needs to be paid for, but they're not paid for by the same thing. And so that's part of where my old brain comes in, is like, who's paying for this stuff, right? Will we? And then when we think about who's paying for this stuff, will we get to a point of like BlackRock making their own L2 to do crazy, insane things that are kind of like insane proto-military craziness, right? Will that happen? Is that why these L2s are being created? Are we trying to, or is a major company going to come and make an L2 just to try and get all the customers, but in the end it's just another, let's say, Meta Facebook sort of thing? Can that be a thing? I feel I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, but that's crypto, is wearing a tinfoil hat, I think.
Yeah. Well, so for me, the most important deal breaker, I would say, is the total value locked inside the network. Okay, so in this case, the most interesting from the point of view of value locked, community support, network, etc., is the whatchamacallit? Oh my God, Polygon.
Mhm.
Okay, as an L2, but even that, I had a very bad experience running the Polygon before, so it's
Me too. Me too.
you
Polygon
too,
has always
yeah.
been a little problematic for me. Also, one thing we don't talk about from a customer perspective on all these L2s is all the bridging we have to do with our money. Like, all I do is drip money like 3 different times before I'm getting my product. It's
Exactly.
now I have, like, because of that, I have drip crypto of all these BS coins in my wallet, little here, a little there. That all adds up to real money. But to touch them, they're so small, is transactions will cost more to move it so I can get it. Then it's that part of it really bothers me and is the biggest issue.
Yeah, so it makes sense only if you have some money already locked there and you don't transact out of the Polygon, and that's the problem of adoption. Okay, so for me, almost all L2 solution is they depends on some application use case. Like if you have a cool use case, you can get some hype, some customers, some users, increase your TVL, like total value locked, and you can implode your valuation in front of customers. You can sell off your tokens, etc., etc. So it's very simple game. I mean, it's all marketing hype.
Mm-hmm.
It's explainable, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But who the hell needs this?
Right. That's what I'm coming to. I love making blockchain situations and products happening, but I keep coming back to sometimes, like, we got to always come back to, is, are we actually doing something new and valuable for both our
Yeah,
clients and our customers, right? Our jobs as a dev house is, one, our client is our favorite customer. Obviously, we're building something for them, but they're also hiring us to understand the ecosystem enough to look at them and say, there's no there in what you want to build. Let's kind of move the concept a little and see how we could go, you know? Um,
yeah,
that's the difference of being first in the space and the being here for a while. Luckily, we have some mental history in the space to really start thinking critically about these moments. I think this will end up being a big topic we're going to talk about in the new year, L2s. I'm going to really do a deep dive. I sprung this up on poor Vic just before we pressed go today on our podcast. But I think I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna find some information that really delves into the positive and negatives of L2s, because I feel our clients are going to start knocking on the door about what the differentiation is on these things, and we are going to tell them, how we feel, and try and like make something good, right?
Yeah, so let's continue to discuss that really interesting topic in next year.
Yep.
Especially, let's cover like ZK proof applications, how the DK sync works, etc., because it's quite a different approach. It's not what we used to work like on the Polygon.
Okay.
But I hope I was able to explain my feeling and understanding of what's going on with all this L2s and everything.
Absolutely.
So for me, I'd love to have only one network like Ethereum. I like Ethereum. I like to work at Ethereum. And it's cool. The only insane problem is the fees. That's it.
Right. Yeah. And that, for some reason, doesn't seem to be like I was saying, they're acting like L2s are rectifying it, but they're really just pushing the fee down the road, right?
Exactly.
They're really just trying to give you low fees on this rebranded network, right? That acts like it's cheaper, but really, in the end, someone is paying for that transaction to fully be done.
Exactly. Every L2 wants to be L1 at the end.
Whoa, that is a slogan. That's every L2 is just dreaming of being an L1, which is honestly not great. That's not a great way to make things, right? Like, why are you making this other thing to grow into the old thing? Just work on the established old thing, is what I'm hearing from Vic. And we're about at our 20-minute mark. And this is our last episode of 2023.
Yep. So really, I didn't get the idea that we almost at the end of the time, but I want to congratulate everyone with 2024 years and all the beauty and development it's gonna bring us in L2, L3, L1, wherever LX layers we're gonna see in the next bull cycle, I hope.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun year. Q1's looking great. We're going to go on the road to a couple conferences we're heading up to and into Q1. I'm here in Denver. I'm hearing Austin. Those in the blockchain and tech world definitely know what happens in those cities. People listening to, if there's things you want us to discuss, just leave us a comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, send us an email, drop onto visiblemagic.com, and just drop us a message. And we would love to talk to you. And with that, that's episode 7 in the can, right?
Right.
Take care, all.
Drop message, take care, click subscribe, Okay.
Bye.
Bye.